And like that, they were gone. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 civilizations that mysteriously faded away. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we're looking at civilizations, cities, or groups of people that, for one reason or another, dwindled, declined, or gradually disappeared from the face of the Earth due to reasons that aren't always known or haven't been fully confirmed. Number 10. The Aksumite Empire, also known as the Kingdom of Aksum.
This one is formed in the shape of a cross. So as such, it probably is from a Christian family.
Located in what is now Ethiopia and Eritrea, the Kingdom of Aksum lasted for over 800 years. Emerging around 100 AD, the civilization grew to become an important trading partner with the Roman and Persian empires. Their prosperity afforded them the opportunity to produce their own coinage, becoming one of the first African cultures to do so. However, according to local legend, the empire was defeated in 960 AD by a mysterious Jewish queen, who is said to have destroyed the Aksumites' religious and cultural achievements. This story is often debated by scholars, with many instead blaming starvation, climate change, and a lack of trade for the decline of the Aksumite Empire.
Just a very quiet epiphany moment when this journey has begun to really make sense.
Number 9. The Nabataeans.
The far side of the channel is completely scoured clean.
The Nabataeans emerged around the 4th century BC in what is now the countries of Jordan, Syria, Saudi Arabia, and Israel. They're responsible for building the carved city of Petra, which is a prime example of their architectural achievements.
It makes sense that they would adopt and adapt different architectural styles from a lot of their trading partners.
And it's worth noting that slavery was not as widely practiced among the Nabataeans as it was among other civilizations of the time. Little is known about why the Nabataeans disappeared, possibly because they were a secretive culture to begin with. However, it has been suggested that, over the years, they may simply have melted into the larger Greco-Roman culture that surrounded them.
It sends a message to anybody who sees it that this is a place of wealth and power.
Number 8. The CucuteniTrypillia Culture.
They built their homes like this, with defensive walls, and in the center, a circle. It was a kind of an arena where they organized different activities.
We're going way back with this one. The CucuteniTrypillia society prospered between approximately 5500 BC and 3000 BC, and they had some traditions that would be considered bizarre by today's standards. Their settlements were quite large, with thousands of structures and populations in the tens of thousands. However, every 60 to 80 years, they would intentionally burn these settlements to the ground and build new ones on top of them. But for nearly 2,500 years, the CucuteniTrypillia culture flourished, until of course they mysteriously declined. Some believe they were conquered by the neighboring Kurgans, who had an affinity for violent confrontations, while others postulate that it was due to severe climate change. Number 7. Turquoise Mountain, also known as Firozkoh. Turquoise Mountain was the capital city of the Gurid dynasty. Located in modern-day Afghanistan, it was said to have been a pillar of prosperity in the region. The city was a melting pot of different ethnic and religious cultures, but that didn't stop it from flourishing for hundreds of years. Today, all that's left of Turquoise Mountain is a massive stone structure in central Afghanistan known as the Minaret of Jam. So what happened to this seemingly bustling metropolis? Most accept that Genghis Khan's son destroyed it in the 13th century AD, but we may never know for sure. Number 6. The Olmec Civilization.
No, Maggie, not Aztec. Olmec. Olmec.
Located in what is now Mexico and Guatemala, the Olmec Civilization was the first of its kind to emerge in that particular region. Beginning around 1500 BC and lasting until roughly 400 BC, the Olmecs were skilled artisans and are responsible for constructing the now famous colossal heads, massive stone carvings that still exist to this day.
No metal tools.
So this is all stone on stone?
Only stones against stones, rock against rock.
Widely regarded as the first Mesoamerican civilization, the Olmecs are often credited with popularizing such cultural staples as a calendar, the concept of zero, and even a basic ball game. The jury is still out on why this thriving society ultimately disappeared, although one theory is that a volcanic eruption forced them to leave. Number 5. Çatalhöyük.
Every house would have its own entrance from above. Yes.
Considered one of the oldest settlements ever discovered, Çatalhöyük is believed to have existed between 7500 BC and 5700 BC. This Neolithic society was situated in what is now southern Turkey, a region that's home to another mysterious ancient wonder, the Temple of Göbekli Tepe.
What I'd like to know is, why did these people undertake such an extraordinarily big and difficult task in the first place?
While this was an illiterate society, this didn't stop them from creating works of art and complex structures. In fact, the layout of the proto-city was quite unique. Instead of roads, the homes were built side by side, with ladders and sidewalks built along the rooftops. Why did Çatalhöyük mysteriously disappear? No one knows, and few clues exist to make an educated guess. Number 4. The Minoan Civilization.
But in Minoan times, if you wanted not just to survive, to build a civilization, you had to reach out across the horizons to make new connections.
This ancient civilization is often credited as the first of its kind in Europe. Located in present-day Greece, the Minoans occupied the island of Crete as well as many other Aegean islands. They existed between 2600 BC and 1100 BC, and were considered the preeminent traders and artists of their particular region. In fact, they left behind numerous artifacts and buildings that still exist today. The Minoans were unlikely to have been a military power, and that fact is key to one suggestion about why they disappeared. Some theorize they were lost to both a Mycenaean invasion and a massive volcanic eruption. Number 3. The Rapa Nui, also known as Easter Island Civilization.
Probably a couple of years of work, completely ruined and gone.
Easter Island is noted for its remoteness, scarce population, and the 887 monolithic stone statues of human faces that dot its coastline. But did you know that it was once home to a bustling and prosperous civilization? The island was settled by Polynesians between 700 AD and 1100 AD, and at one point may have had up to 15,000 people living there. The Polynesians were famous for their maritime navigation skills, as well as their seemingly unexplainable ability to create massive stone monuments. However, their population soon dwindled. It's been theorized that they used up all the island's resources to the point that there were simply no more trees available, with European arrival, Peruvian slave trading, and diseases likely exacerbating the situation. Number 2. The Indus Valley, also known as the Harappa Civilization.
I am standing in a long and deep reservoir cut through the limestone rock.
This civilization was one of the largest in existence during the Bronze Age. It began around 3300 BC and lasted for roughly 2,000 years in the area that is now Pakistan and parts of India and Afghanistan. The Indus had a knack for city building and at one point claimed to rule hundreds of different towns. These towns were extremely complex, with running water, plumbing, and indoor toilets. At its height, the Indus Valley Civilization had a population that numbered in the millions. However, seemingly out of the blue, this once thriving society disappeared. Many postulate that it was due to climate change, which led to long-lasting droughts in the area. Just another unexplained mystery of history.
The kind of earth we have here is clearly dried up riverbed.
Number 1. The Maya Civilization. As one of the most sophisticated societies to have ever existed, the Maya made incredible strides in mathematics, astronomy, writing, and architecture. Their massive pyramids still stand to this day in what is now southern Mexico. For over 2,000 years, the Mayan people ruled with unquestioned authority, until one day they didn't. Much has been made of their gradual demise, with many questions and very few answers. However, their rapid decline around the 9th century is believed to have been a reaction to drastic climate change and political collapse that triggered tribal warfare, which in turn caused them to abandon their great cities. Spanish conquest is said to have taken the last independent Maya city in the late 17th century, though some small villages remained for a while longer.
The Maya were not a Western society. They didn't do anything the way that Europeans do.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.